Hey, Clayton here from thegoal60.com. Back at it again. Haven't made a video in a while. I went through a couple things during the fall, moving and such, so now we're back in it and we're getting ready for baseball season. So I've got a blog post up at thegoal60.com if you want to check that out. It goes into this a lot more in depth and how it works. But I want to talk to you about our baseball system and what we look for and the outcome. So a little bit of recent history is last year it finished 44-1, so that's pretty good, really good actually. But just to talk to you about it, the overviews, I found the system on floating around the internet, and I backlogged it and back tested and to see how it came out in the past few years, and it always ended profitable. But a couple things I've seen that I could change, and so I did those things, and last season, like I said, it finished 44-1. So there were some things that I changed to make my own, things that I adjusted that I thought would fit a little better, and they seem to be working out. So I'll go ahead and talk to you about it right now. So one thing is, this is a chase system. So at any point in time, you can have a lot riding on just a couple of days worth of wagers. So you want to start out with at least a 20 unit bankroll. So if your unit is the standard $100, that's your base unit, you want to start out with at least 20 units, so $2,000. Okay. So what we're doing in this chase system is we're taking advantage of the competitive spirit of pro athletes and the fact that nobody wants to lose 6 games in a row to any particular team. Okay, so how the system works is around these parameters. Like I said, a couple of these I've changed myself and adjusted. Some of these are the basic parameters that were already with the system when I found it. So what you're doing is you're watching teams and you're logging them, and when a team gets swept 3 games in a row by the same opponent, so they lose their 3-game series to that opponent, the next time they play, the team that got swept, that's who we're playing on. One thing you want to look for is that the next time they play, the day of the game, you want to look at the RPI rankings. You don't want to play on a team against a team that is rated in the top 3 spots of the RPI rankings. You don't want to play on a team that is rated in the bottom 3 of the RPI rankings. And also, when you're playing on this team, they do not need to be below more than 15 RPI points. If they're above the team they're playing, great. They can be any amount above. But they don't need to be more than 15 points below the team that we're playing against. So, with that said, if the team that you're playing on is the favorite, you want to bet the money line. If the team you're playing against is the favorite, you want to bet the run line. So if we're the underdog, you're going to bet the run line. That meaning that either way you go with that, what I just said, you're going to be taking negative juice. Now that, I never go over 150 juice on the first game. So what I'm saying is I never lay more than minus 150 to win 100 on the first game. Now the second game or the third game, it could be a little bit more. The only exception is I never go over 200 on the second or third game. If it's at that much, I have, in my back test, I have cut my losses and still finished profit for the season. That's a rare occasion. Usually a team that's minus 150 first game is not going to be more than minus 200 after that on the run line, for say. If they're favorites, they could be, but it's rare. So, also, let's talk about when the actual parameters of this system work. What I found is, obviously, you're not going to be able to play anything before around the 1st of May. The reason being, for the first month, you don't play somebody twice a lot of times. Every now and then that happens. But most of the time, the month of April is to establish a few teams that have lost series to other teams, been swept in series. And in May, they start to play those teams again. So you start picking up bets, you start picking up games. Now during the summer, June, July, you get extremely busy. It's almost every day that you'll have a game to bet on, okay? Mid-August is where we stop. The reason for that is after about the midway point of August, you start getting into teams that are eligible for the playoffs or really close, they start playing well. The teams that are tanking, haven't been very good all year, they start losing every game. It's too volatile to let a team determine if you're going to bet them when they don't have anything to play for, or they do have something to play for and you're betting against them. Okay, so that's why I stopped mid-August. Also want to say that I talked about the large amount that you need to start off with. So if you bet $5 a game, you need $100 to start this year with. That's 20 units. That's your base unit. Alright? There's going to be games or days where you don't have a single game to bet on. And then there will be days where you may have up to 5 games to bet on. It's just how it lines up in the season. Now I will be on the goal60.com, I will have a spreadsheet for every single day. So if you want to make it easy, just go over to the goal60.com and check out that spreadsheet every single day, and I will have listed who to bet, if it's the first game, second game, third game, whatever. Each day will have how much of the units you need to put on it, and also what the game is. And that's it. Just check us out at thegoal60.com or at thegoal60 on Twitter. Thank you.